It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your gun, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal with your host, Mike Adams, and his son, the other Mike Adams. They're locked, loaded, and ready for another exciting episode. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Hey guys, welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Up North Journal, and possibly some stories to tell on this one, and maybe even some lies.
Yeah, maybe a few along the way. Who knows?
Also, remember, we are part of the Outdoor Radio Network.
And not only that, you can also find us over at MichiganHuntingToday.com. We have the podcast listed there, and you can also find my blog over there, Hooks and Bullets, and I'd appreciate a little support on that if you guys would go over there and check that out. I like to write a few things over there, sometimes a little more controversial. Sometimes it's just crazy stuff. Who knows what I got over there?
Or random stuff.
Yeah, it could be random stuff. Who knows? And don't forget, we're also over at myhuntingandfishing.com. We've got the podcast listed there. More importantly, if you guys are just coming over from myoutdoortv.com and you've just found the show over there, go over to iTunes and make sure you subscribe to the show from over there. Or go to our website, upnorthjournal.com, and you can follow the link there and go right to the podcast, and you can subscribe right through our main site. So with that being said, let's get on with the show.
Get it on.
Been another crazy week here. It's been action-packed as always. We got some cool stuff to talk about tonight. First thing I do want to go over, though, is this week I had a computer hard drive malfunction, so to speak. Nothing serious on my part, but I did lose some major storage space, and I don't know if I mentioned it on the show last week, but here a while back, Michael and I and Chuck Parr and Jake, we all went down to Point Mouillet and did some goose banding. And we shot a lot of video that day, and I wanted to start working on that video and putting it on YouTube so everybody can check out what we did. And the hard drive died. So I'm really up against it right now, the hard drive space. Ordered another one, got it on the way. Actually, I ordered two. And I've got some cool stuff that we're working on, and hopefully we can get that knocked out here real quick as soon as we get the old Up North Journal computer back up and running at full speed. So, but that was kind of the low point of the week, and everything else was upward and onward beyond that. We ordered some new stickers, some Up North Journal stickers with our logo on it.
Oh, I didn't know you ordered them.
Yeah, I got them ordered, baby. They're going to be here hopefully by next weekend. And if that's the case, we may have them. If we do, we're going to take them with us to the Jake's event that we're going to be working at. And
how many did you order?
I only ordered 20. I want to see how this goes and see how people react to it. There's probably already a half a dozen spoken for, so we'll see what happens. I mean, they're a little bit expensive, so it's not like I can throw out 100 or 200 of them right away to people. And we're just going to see if we get a good reaction out of them. We're going to order some more and kind of keep them flowing. So, but they're about 4 inches. I mean, they're decent size, 4 inches square.
Oh, they're square and they're not circle.
Well, it's the round one. It's the round Up North Journal logo, but it's on a square backer, so that way it'll stand out. It's going to be cool. But better yet, I've got a big one that's going on the back of the truck.
Cool.
It's going to be huge, and it's the actual rectangle one that we use on our video, and that's going to be on the back window of my truck, so everybody can see that, the Up North Journal. That's cool. And don't forget, guys, we got hats.
So now everyone can notice us when we're going through the drive-thru.
That's right, because that's where we always go through the drive-thru before we go hunting or fishing, just like we did this morning.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into that later in the show. But we got hats, too. The hat's really cool. Got a box full of them sitting back here. They're sitting right there behind you. I'm
still with the old one.
And you haven't earned a new one yet. We'll see. But we're going to sell those, and if you'd like, we got to get a picture of them first. And I know we don't have one yet. We're going to get that up this week on the website so you guys can take a look at them. They're nice mossy oak breakup on there. And we'll get that out, and hopefully you guys will like the logo and the look of it. And if you want one, you send us $25, and we'll mail it out to you and get one out to you so you can carry the logo with you when you're out in the field. So that's kind of new and exciting. But what we did this week, we did our usual bow shoot on Monday, went up to the bow range, and how was things going with you up there?
Just like normal, just average.
Getting up there, hanging with it, having a fun time.
But it was the first time I was shooting with my whisker biscuit after I changed from the hostage.
Well, what was that all about? How'd you shoot with that? I mean, what was the difference? You notice anything?
Accuracy, like by an inch or two in grouping.
Okay, so the grouping was better with the hostage?
Yeah, a lot better.
Well, why did you change it out?
I changed it out because of the bristles on them. They're burning like crazy. Everyone that I've talked to online or in person says about after 200 shots, they just start burning.
Okay. Well, I know one of the guys at the range put that hostage on his, and he's probably ran close to that through his, and he's not had a problem yet. So as of yet, we're not able to figure out how to get around that or what's causing that. So
a lot of people say that they should make they've emailed Octane, aka Bowtech, and asked them about changing the bristles out for a more durable material, and they didn't even get replies from them.
Yeah, well, when you start cracking on somebody's stuff, they're going to get a little, take it the wrong way, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if they get enough.
Maybe if they do get enough, maybe they will. But it may not be the fact that's the problem. It may be the setup of it, and it may be. I even watched you Monday shooting a little bit, and you were starting to torque again. You were closing that hand, and it may be a torquing issue. We don't know yet. And one thing that you and I had really talked about after that, we put a lot of thought into this, was the actual arrows you were using. And are these the ones you were using on that one?
Yeah.
Actually, I was surprised because I was thinking maybe it was the carbon. Some of these are a little rougher finish, but these, you've got wraps on these, the camo wrap all the way down.
Yeah, it's wrap all the way.
So, I don't know. It's really hard to just figure out why it's doing it. I don't know. But so you went back to the biscuit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, the guys at the range, they said they found a thing on research or something.
Actually, it was one of the guys out at Brown's. I talked to him when we were out there getting Jake's bow set up, and they did the test on it. They took a bow and put the hostage rest on it, and they were shooting it through a chrony and speed checking it. And once they I don't know, 5, 6, 10 shots, however many shots they put through it, they got an average. And then they turned around and put that whisker biscuit back on, did the same thing with it, and they were only getting maybe a 1 to 2 foot per second loss of speed. So I thought it was going to be, a tremendous amount, but it wasn't.
Worse.
So they said no. They tested it, and it was cracking pretty good. So we haven't put yours. We did put yours on the chronograph, didn't we?
Yeah.
Since then, I can't remember what the results were compared to what it was before.
It was.
I don't remember. Well, I'll have to get the stats out and look at them. So. But that was Monday, typical day at the range.
I got something to brag about.
What's that?
I was very close to Robin Hood actually that day.
Oh yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
You went knock hunting, didn't you?
Yeah, I went knock hunting. I split the knock right in half, broke the knock in half, but the field point went off to the side.
Yep, you almost.
I was kind of disappointed but happy at the same time.
Almost Robin Hooded one. That'd have been cool.
Yeah.
So just don't be doing that to my arrows.
Okay.
I don't want to have to replace mine. I don't mind. You can replace yours because it's coming out of your pocket, but don't be shooting my arrows.
Okay.
So, but that was typical Monday. That's every Monday we go up to the range, hang out with the guys up there at Compass Outdoors. I want to give them a shout out. And hey, for you guys who are in the area here locally, in the mid-Michigan area, we got the Cinder Block Shoot coming up. We're hoping to get everybody signed up. I know they signed a few more spots up. We're getting close to half full for that. And the shoot is September 8th or 7th.
Oh, we're already half full?
I think so, yeah. But if you want more information on that and you're in the area, email us. I'll make sure and get you the information on that. It's a pretty cool archery shoot coming up. And also here in the area, I think it's August 16th and 17th, we've got the R100 from Reinhardt coming up in Saginaw.
That's going to be fun.
And I'm actually considering shooting that. So
I'm not too sure about it because we shoot one pens and we're sighted in at 20 yards.
Yeah, got to compensate.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little different. I've never done a 3D shoot.
I only have 5 arrows.
Yeah, you may not have any if you get
I know.
through that. But
when is it, August?
It's coming up in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this coming weekend.
I don't have any arrows for the Cinder Block Smash.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to hook you up. We'll make sure you got those. But anyway, so that's coming up. We've got that to look forward to. And speaking of targets, if you guys had looked at our video we did with Pat Dinan from Bowtech, we did that interview up at Compass on their archery range, And we took some 3D targets and placed them around us and kind of built a makeshift set. Really liked the way it turned out. Liked it so much, I ordered some targets this week that we're going to use when we start maybe doing our video podcast.
He's going to take over my range.
Yep, your range is done. We're going to convert the basement into a studio. But we ordered a bedded buck and we ordered a coyote.
And it was a bedded buck?
Yeah, I found out after that. After we started checking the numbers on it, it was a bedded buck. So
I thought it was a standing one.
And we're going to put that in front of the set down in front, so I think that's going to look really cool.
Bows across there or something.
Yeah, it's going to work out good, I think. So got those coming. And then Thursday, that was the day you actually didn't go to the range.
Yeah, I let Jacob take over from me.
So Jake went up there, and we let him take the adrenaline up there, and he shot that a little bit, getting a little more used to that. Didn't have it quite set up yet. Still didn't have sights put on it or peep sight or anything. So he was shooting instinctive, or like I like to call a la natural. And he can hit really well with a recurve that way. I mean, the kid's really got some instinct. But when it comes to shooting a compound like that, he was flinging arrows all over the place.
Hit the wall?
No, I didn't hit the wall, but he came close a couple times. He was shooting next to the wall, obviously, but
yeah,
he struggled. So we got him hooked up this weekend. But we'll go a little more into that here later on the show. What I'd like to do right now, though, let's take a quick break. Let's get our first break out of the way. We'll step outside real quick, and we'll come back, and we'll do a little bit outdoor news. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's rock it on outside. We'll be right back after this.
If you're looking for the best in outdoor hunting and fishing podcasts, look no further than the Outdoor Radio Network. Each week we have dozens of podcasts devoted to outdoor sports, with shows like On the Water with Bob Murray, Bass Champ Journal, Surf and Shore Fishing, just to name a few. Check out all outdoor podcasts on the OutdoorRadioNetwork.com.
Welcome back, everybody, and now let's jump into a little bit of outdoor news for the week. And this week I've got two things I'd like to cover, and both of them are good. Which is good. Usually we're talking about something bad that's really ticking me off, but this week I've got some good news. This week, actually July 23rd, in the state of New York, their governor signed a bill into law allowing or dropping the minimum age requirement for hunters to get into the field for big game. Used to, you had to be 16 years old to hunt big game in the state of New York. They've now dropped it back to 14-year-old that's able to get out into the field. Actually, here in Michigan, it's 12, so we've got it a little better. But they did drop it back 2 years, so we can at least get 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds into the field to be able to hunt big game in New York. So
didn't that drop like right as soon as I turned 12?
Yeah, well, you had turned 14. Not 14. You turned 12. It was the minimum age here in Michigan was 12 for small game. So you couldn't hunt until you were 12. And when you turned 12, they dropped it to 10. So you kind of got hosed out of 2 years of hunting.
Yeah.
And we knew it was coming, but they never did get it done in time for you. But, it's good because Mackenzie, she's been able to take advantage of it. Jacob next year will be able to take advantage of it. And not only that, the other kids around the state of Michigan. But we've now got 27 states, 27 of our 50 states have lowered age requirements to get youth out into the field. So that has, in turn, created over 131,000 new hunters that have gotten into the field because of these new laws. So
that's a lot.
That's a lot of new hunters, a lot of new young hunters. And actually, you always hear these statistics of people saying, oh, we don't want young hunters out there, they're dangerous, they're going to cause more accidents. Statistics now are showing that actual hunting accidents with this hunter education programs is actually reducing the amount of hunter incidents. And usually the incidents are occurring in the older people, not the younger ones. They're some of the safest hunters out there. because they've went through these programs. And in the state of Kansas, there was a survey done. Annually, they always check to see how many accidents they've had and how many fatalities. And they say that your chances of getting killed in a hunting accident is less than getting struck by lightning. You're more likely to get struck and killed by lightning than you are by hunting. So that should tell you how safe hunting is. Yeah. Not to say that there's not incidents out there. It's just they're all preventable. That's the thing. As long as we keep our head on straight and we think about those safety rules and take care of that, then we're going to be safe out there and we're not going to have to worry about these things. So, but I just thought that was really good news, especially in the state of New York. That's one of the states that there's a big battleground of anti-gun laws. They're trying to really stranglehold people for owning guns up there. State of New York, the city of New York, Mayor Bloomberg and all that. And Senator Clinton, she's from that state too. And we all know how they feel about, owning guns. So I won't get on my political soapbox. So let's steer clear of that. So I said this was good news, so let's keep it on a good note. But the other piece of news I want to run across you is I ran across on the National Shooting and Sports Foundation's website, they had a link to the U.S. Olympic team, their shooting team, and it kind of sparked my curiosity and started doing a little investigating into it. Well, in Beijing, China, obviously, everybody knows that's when the Olympics are starting this upcoming week, or the end of next week, I should say. And we have a really wide select group of people who are going over to represent us in the shooting sports. And the reason I bring this up is we've got a shooter here in the Mid-Michigan area who is on the pistol team, and he is shooting in the Olympics. And I just thought that was so cool that we've got somebody here locally representing the United States on the pistol shooting team. So, and what we're going to do here at the Up North Journal, we've put a link on our site, on our main page, starting this coming week. I don't think we've got it up just yet, but we're going to link to their website so you guys can click on that and go over and keep track of how our U.S. shooters are doing in the Olympics.
Now, is it just pistol or is it archery too?
There's an archery team. I don't think I've got that covered, but I will get that on there too. There's shotgun, rifle, and pistol.
Because I've been watching some archery competition videos.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Those things are crazy.
If you will remind me tonight, we'll get online and we'll look and we'll get that on there too.
Yeah, some of them people from China, they'll pull back their bows and they'll aim like 5 feet above the target.
Yeah.
And they'll shoot and it will get a 12.
Yeah, they're crazy, man. Them guys are good. So, but yeah, I just thought that was really cool. Just got a local guy that's out there and making it happen over in China. So, going to root those guys on and hopefully they do well. So, make sure you go to the Up North Journal this week and check out that link. And like I said, you can come back, anytime and hopefully get the updates as they come in. It'll take you right to the other website. So, just kind of wanted to bring that up. But we'll check out the archery stuff too, Michael. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take another quick break. Get our last break out of the way. We'll have a big segment at the end of the show. We'll talk about what we did this weekend. We did some stuff with some youth bows. We got cranked back up on that again and put the bows back in. Actually, the bows have been in their hands, but we did some switching around with the kids and did some chronograph testing and things like that. So got some numbers to throw at you for that. Talk about what we did today. Got back up on the river today and did some fishing and some things that are coming up next week. So stick around. Let's get this break out of the way. We'll come back and we'll rock out the last part of the show. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay. We'll be right back after this.
If you're looking for the best in outdoor hunting and fishing podcasts, look no further than the Outdoor Radio Network. Each week we have dozens of podcasts devoted to outdoor sports, with shows like On the Water with Bob Murray, Bass Champ Journal, Surf and Shore Fishing, just to name a few. Check out all outdoor podcasts on theoutdoorradionetwork.com.
Welcome back to another best part of the show, Mikey's Game Bag. Well, this week on Mikey's Game Bag, I'm going to be doing something that actually one of my friends from out in Grand Rapids, remember Aaron?
Yep, from last year. Yep, he's been with us the whole time along with the show.
Yeah, actually I haven't talked to him in a while, and he asked me if I could do a special fletching, like Mikey's Game Bag and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, he was big into archery last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
First time kind of getting into the woods, doing some archery stuff.
He says he's been getting good and busting fletchings, and he says now he needs to learn how to do them.
Oh, he's shaving some fletchings off, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So he needs to know how to put them back on.
Yeah.
Well, we've been dabbling with that here quite a bit lately. Matter of fact, I just finished up one of your arrows here right before the show.
Yeah, because mine keep falling off because apparently I'm putting on too much glue.
Why are they falling off?
Because I'm putting on too much glue.
Who?
Me.
Okay. Just want to get that clear so everybody understands that it wasn't me who did and made the mistake.
He's got a special touch.
I guess, because you know what? I don't have this problem of mine.
You flushed yours last year, and you still have the same ones.
I know it. They stay on. They do the job.
You shoot at individual targets, too.
Well, that's the biggest thing, I learned real quick. When I was shooting bag targets, or, if you're shooting 3D targets and you're shooting multiples, it's kind of hard to do this. But when you're shooting a bag target, they've got more than one bullseye on them, even a block. And when I was shooting right before turkey season last year, I was doing some practicing with some broadheads in a broadhead target, and I started slicing veins off. And that's when I was like, whoa, I got to stop doing this. And that's when I learned how to fletch arrows. And
that's when we switched to blazers.
That, and I also started shooting individual bullseyes. So, number one, I wasn't busting nocks, and I wasn't shaving veins off. So,
and that's what I've been starting to do.
Yeah, well, and this week you busted a knock and you lost some veins. Actually, your veins fell off. You didn't shave them off.
I know.
But anyway.
They fell off in flight.
Well, then you got some glue issues or something. But we'll talk about some fletching stuff, man. Let Aaron know what it takes and how to do it and all that good stuff, what we do here.
Okay, probably first I'll probably talk about the tools that you're probably going to need. First off, fletchings, the actual veins. There's tons of different ones. There's feathers. Actually, there's finny blazers.
Finny blazers, okay. Is that like fins off a fish?
No. There's feather blazers, which are 2-inch ones, which actually I wanted to buy today, but on the Boeing ones.
Yeah, we actually seen them up at the store today we stopped at on the way back home.
Yeah.
They were 2-inch. They were actual feathers, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But they weren't. The profile wasn't as tall as these.
No.
Okay.
They're about maybe half an inch high.
Yeah, they were a lot shorter. Did they have a special name for those?
They're like Razor Tech or something.
Okay.
Razor something.
Maybe it was the name brand or something. Okay.
And our favorite one, Boeing Archery, they make them mini blazer.
Yep.
I mean, the blazer. And then they do make a mini blazer. The blazer's 2 inches. Mini blazer's an inch.
Inch and a half or an inch and a quarter?
Inch and a half, I think.
Okay. But anyway, there's different sizes, different lengths.
And then they have regular 4-inch veins, which we don't shoot anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of controversy over that.
Yeah. Depends on how the distance you're shooting.
I've talked to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys swear, I won't shoot anything but a 4-inch, vein on one. I don't know why guys shoot, these 2 inches. The thing I notice, I don't shoot long distance, number one. I don't shoot.
We only shoot 20 yards here.
Yeah, at the most 30 yards. I want to step my game up. I did shoot some 40-yard shots last year and shot consistently with them. But when I say long shots, I'm talking guys who are shooting 70, 80 yards.
Like the guys out at Bowtech.
Yeah.
Not Bowtech.
The guys out at Bowcat, they shoot like that, and they take game like that. I mean, they're good. You know what? And I need to talk to those guys and see what they're fletching their arrows with. If they're shooting veins or feathers, and if they're shooting 4s or 2s or what,
Actually, I think they're using quick spins.
Quick spins? Okay.
I think
so. That I don't know, so I don't know what they're shooting, but that would be a good topic to call those guys on and find out. But I've heard guys talk about, they swear by 4-inch, veins, and then I've heard guys like us. I love the 2-inch blazer.
Plus, they look cool.
Well, they look cool, but there you go again. You're always about look. You're always tricking out your stuff, but
yeah.
That's all right. I don't want to hoot on you too bad about that, but I do. I really like the performance out of them. My shooting ability, my performance has greatly increased because of these. My groupings tightened up, so that's why I stuck with them. If they didn't, I wouldn't use them. So,
and then all the different colors.
Yeah, you got all these different colors.
Actually, the ones we got right now, got neon green, black.
That's not neon green.
It's green.
It's bright green, but it's not green. It's not neon.
I think that's real tree.
Yeah, that's a real tree that I've got to get rid of. I can't even use those anymore. And redo those. I'm going with probably the black and the green here. Actually, matter of fact, I actually tore some of my older Fletchings. I still got some with 4 inches on them.
Yeah.
And I tore a couple of those at the range on Thursday that I've got to redo.
And then my famous tiger stripes.
Yeah, you got your tiger stripes there.
Them are like almost all gone. I did that some up for Kevin.
So okay, so you got your Fletchings. You got to choose what Fletchings you want. Number one. Okay. Now, talk to them about how do you get the old ones off. I mean, even if you shave them off, there's still part of it stuck on, the part that's glued onto the shaft.
Yeah. What we use basically like a utility knife.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got like one right there on your desk.
Yep.
Basically, it's just a
utility blade.
Utility blade.
Box
like
cutter blade.
Yeah. Or what you do is you just take it, cut off the fletching, and then either if you get it down close enough, there'll be just glue, or there'll be like a thin strip of plastic, and basically you just hold it vertical.
Okay.
The blade vertical and the arrow horizontal, and just rub it back and forth until you get it all off.
Just kind of use it as like a fingernail almost, like if you kind of scratch it off and clean it off. Make sure you don't dig into the arrow. Yeah. That's very important. But make sure you get all the glue off. You don't want any buildup on it. They do make tools, stripping tools that you can run onto the arrow shaft and it'll actually strip them off. I've never used one. I don't know how well they work.
They're very expensive.
Are they?
Yeah. The one that I was looking at, the one that's like a 2-inch piece of metal, it's like $25.
Really?
Yeah, that zip strip.
Okay, I didn't know they were that expensive. Like I said, I've never really checked it out. Yeah. Okay. So you get your arrow clean. Okay. Next,
you can, if it's like dirty and stuff and you got a whole bunch of stuff, just use water on it. Lukewarm water, and then what I'll do is I'll just rub down my whole arrow with it.
Okay, and wipe it off, clean it off, and dry it.
Wipe it off and dry it, yeah.
Okay.
Next, besides utility knife, you'll need your glue, which is, you can use like Goat Tough, or we use the Boeing Archery kind. Mm-hmm. What is it, the Quadrum or something?
Yeah.
Quadrum.
Quadrum XT, Super Fletch adhesive.
Basically, it's like super glue. Don't get it on your fingers.
What happened?
I was at the range, and I was trying to show the guys how glue on contact it was. I put it in my fingers, and I couldn't get it. I had to use the utility knife to cut the glue.
He glues his fingers together. That's good.
So it is glue on contact. It only takes like a minute to glue. It
doesn't take that long. This stuff sets up quick. So that's kind of the basics of getting ready to fletch. Are you going to cover the rest of it this week? You're going to wait?
I'm going to talk about one more tool you'll need. You'll need the fletcher.
Okay.
Obviously.
The actual fletching jig.
Yeah, and they have like stationary ones you can put on desks. So you do one at a time. Or the one that I like that you have is the Arizona Easy Fletch, I think.
Yep, that is a nice little fletching tool.
Basically, you put your 3 vanes in the slots. You put your arrow in the middle. You put the glue on. And then you push it and it collapses and it stays on. You put your glue in.
Yep, and put a little cap, locking ring on it, and away it goes.
Sit for about a minute.
We've had this for a little over a year now. We've fletched a lot of arrows with this. And actually, I've fletched a lot of your arrows with it. Mine are doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You probably fletched 2 dozen of my arrows.
Probably. But, hey, that's what it's all about. It's all about having fun. And I like fletching. I don't know. It's kind of cool when you put your own vanes on. You can
kind of like reloading.
Yeah, you can customize them a little bit. Put colors and stuff like that on there.
Reloading's a lot more dangerous.
Yep, obviously. So once you get them all done and you get them out of the jig, is there anything else you want to do to them?
Like you said, how you did it earlier. What you do is you just put like a little dot of glue on the front of them.
Tip the front of the vane.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Just with a little dab, not a big blob, but just a little bit, and that just kind of secures that edge. For if you're shooting through some 3D targets or something like that, and it does a pass-through that, whoa, I just knocked all the stuff off my desk.
Smooth.
But that way it doesn't take and strip the veins off if you've got just a little bit of the end that's not secure properly.
Like Kevin the other day. No, it was
while I was shooting those arrows in that test, and it went through that 4-inch backstop, foam backstop.
And you pushed it right out.
I pulled it all the way through, and I thought it was going to rip the veins off, and not one of them was touched. I mean, they held up. Matter of fact, that was one that I fletched, I think. So,
if it was mine, they probably would have all been gone.
You know, they hold up really well. I have not had a problem with any of the arrows that I've fletched. So it's very easy to do. I mean, if I can do it, you guys can do it. So Aaron out there in Grand Rapids,
I certainly can't do it.
You're gonna need a fletching jig, and the one that we use is the Arizona Easy Fletch. Right now, if you buy them from most archery shops, I want to say they're like $40, $45 maybe.
You got yours on?
I got mine online on eBay and bought it from I can't even remember, but I think I paid $30, $35.
No, I think it was actually like $20.
Well, by the time I got shipping, handling, everything, I think it was about $35. And if I remember right, no, the glue didn't come with it. I had to order the glue, and I ordered my my veins from a archery shop, and I don't even remember who that was. I got it online somewhere. I've got it saved, but just shop around.
That, or if you don't get the Arizona Easy Fletch, Boeing makes a basic starter one. It's like $20. Mm-hmm. And it's just a stationary one. It's plastic, but
it works.
It will get you started.
Yeah, so. But now this Easy Fletch that we use, that's all plastic too. The biggest thing that I don't like about this, that I've had problems with, is keeping the jig on the inside clean of glue. Because once it compresses the veins and holds them in place,
puts glue
if you put too much glue on, it's going to squeeze out, obviously, and it gets onto the plastic, and you've got to clean that off. You got to use some solvent and keep that off, or you got to use a utility knife and kind of scrape it off without cutting into the jig, and it can be a pain in the rear end sometimes. So.
Oh, does it have an offset on it?
I think that's got a 1 degree offset.
That kind of twist the fletching?
Yep, it kind of rolls and puts a helix or a twist on the fletching for rotation. Some of them, I think, might go up to 6 degrees. I think. I can't remember. It's been so long since
I've seen some crazy fletchings twisted.
Yeah, so it just makes it spin. The faster it spins, it's like a football. When you throw it there, it steadies the arrow, and a spinning, elongated object is going to fly straighter if it spins. Now, obviously, too, when you do that, you're going to reduce some speed because you've got drag. The more twist you have in the fletching, the more drag you've got. So if you're a speed freak and you're into that, trying to maximize speed, that's one thing it's going to cut down on. And as far as how much speed, I don't know. You'd have to talk to some of the guys who are doing that kind of stuff to actually see how much speed you'd lose by putting some severe twist on it. And like you said, some of the guys are using quick spins too. It's got the little, what do you call it, the little wing on the back.
Kicker.
The little kicker that makes them twist. Now, you cannot shoot quick spins through a whisker biscuit. Be clear on that. It'll rip them off.
Yeah.
So, but you can shoot them through the hostage.
But there is quick spins that don't have the kickers on them.
Okay.
They're called twisters.
Okay. So, just get out there and play with them, experiment with them a little bit, have some fun with it. It's another way to be creative, another way to field test some stuff on your own and figure out what works best with your setup.
And pimp out your arrows.
Yeah, you're always talking about tricking out stuff, I can tell you. But, so is that it?
Actually, no, I wanted to try some wraps. I wanted to get into that. I saw some that are pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. You've been talking to a friend of ours over on the eastern side of the state, Chuck Crow, about that, and he's actually got you a couple websites he's hooked you up with, right?
Yeah.
And you haven't done anything with them yet, but that's something that you're looking forward to, is doing some customizing or custom wraps.
Some more trindle wraps.
You're always trying to trick them out a little more, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, so is that it for Mikey's Game Bag this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about archery, might as well stick with a little bit of archery. And I'd like to mention a friend of ours, Jerry Long, over in Wisconsin, who hooked us up with some slick tricks. And actually, we received those yesterday. We received those in the mail yesterday. So Jerry wanted to say thank you for hooking us up with the company Slick Tricks. We got those broadheads, and we're not done with our broadhead test yet by any means. We were actually going to take and do some more testing this weekend, but we ran out of time on Saturday because we spent the whole day playing around with the kids' youth bows, and did a big, huge chronograph speed check test with that this week. And we had the edge from Diamond, and that was Mindy's bow, and we had Browning's Eclipse that Mackenzie's shooting, and we had Browning's Adrenaline that Jacob's shooting. And we didn't have the Parker Buckshot here with us this week because our partner here at the Up North Journal, Tim Ford, him and his family were out of town, and his boy Paul is shooting that bow. So we're going to have to make sure we get him back out for a weekend and let him shoot the bows again, and kind of round robin those bows and make sure we get the actual testing done on that one. And we did some speed checks on your stuff, but I don't have the results with me tonight, so we can't really talk a whole lot about that. But what I do want to talk about with the kids' stuff that we did is what we accomplished and what the chronograph showed between those three bows. And we put them through their paces. So, and speaking of kids, we had an extra big kid with us this weekend also. Our good buddy Chuck Parr, who, as you know, if you've been listening to the show, is hooked on waterfowling. He's a big duck and goose hunter, and is president, actually, of the Holly Waterfowlers Association that he's just started up here recently with Delta Waterfowl. But I'm slowly converting him over to archery, and we're getting him hooked on it and got his bow set up. He came over this weekend and shot with us, and we all had a pretty good time. And just wanted to say, Chuck, thanks for coming over and hanging out with us for the day. It was a lot of fun. So we're going to make an archer out of him yet. We're going to get him so he has to divide his time in the fall between ducks and geese and archery. That's the problem I had last year. So
with me,
yeah, we're going to get him hooked on it, and then he's going to have to try to play that game of which one does he want to do, like I did. But getting back to the youth stuff, we set up the chronograph and started doing some speed checks on them. And let me get my page flipped over here with the numbers we got and what we did with them. And now, what we did with these, first of all, I did the shooting on all this, okay, shooting on the chronograph. We wanted to make sure we had consistency. Same shooter, same arrow. We shot the same arrows consistently through all these bows, and we took them up to their maximum draw length, which was up to 28, 28.5 inches, and 25, respectively, on these bows. So we're using a 29.5 inch 250 Maxim carbon fiber arrow with a 100 grain field tip on it. Okay, and now let's start what we did with before we get into that, I want to also say that all these bows had hostage rests on them, the hostage pro capture rest on it, and also they all had peep sights with the peep lanyard on it. So as far as anything that might affect speed, they were all the same, in that respect. We try to keep things as consistent as possible. So now let's start with the edge from Diamond. The maximum draw length on that bow is 28.5 inches. Now all three bows we set up at 30 pounds speed checked, then we did 35, and then 40 pounds. Okay, and these numbers reflected are an average of 4 shots at each poundage through the chronograph. And at 30 pounds, the edge at a 28.5 inch draw length, the average speed through that was 203.6 feet per second. That's booking for a 30-pound bow, youth bow. And when we bumped it up to 35 pounds, we didn't see a huge increase there. Really don't know why, but it chronographed at 207.2 feet per second. But when we stepped it up to 40 pounds, there was a substantial increase, up to 225.9 feet per second, almost 226 feet per second average when we bumped it up to 40 pounds. Okay. Now, the Adrenaline from Browning has a 28-inch draw length, so only a half-inch difference between the two bows. And when we started that one out at 30 pounds, the average on that one was 179.5 feet per second. And then when we went to 35 pounds, we did see a nice little jump on it at 189.2, so almost a full 10 feet per second increase. And we jumped it up to 40 pounds, it went up to 205.9 feet per second. Nice little jump there going up to 40 pounds on that bow. Now, both of these bows are dual cams, okay? Now, when we're talking about the Eclipse, that's a single cam bow, so it's a little different setup there. And also, being that it's single cam bow, There's limited amounts of what they can do with the draw length on that. And this one's maximum draw length is 25 inches. Okay. Now, at 30 pounds, it went to 162.5 feet per second. That was the average 4 shots at 30 pounds. When we jumped up to 35 pounds, saw a nice increase up to 179.2 feet per second. And then another nice increase when we jumped up to 40 pounds. It chronoed at 193.8 feet per second. So, relatively speaking, the edge was faster. It was a half inch longer than the Adrenaline, 225.9 to 205.9, so a full 20 feet per second difference. And then when you jump down to the Eclipse, it was almost 194 feet per second. So, any of those bows for kids at that length, man, that's fast. I don't know what the numbers were back when I was a kid, but I know they weren't that fast.
Yeah.
Our bows back then were slow. I think they chronoed them with a clock. They were so slow. But seriously, it's these things they're fast. When I shot them, I was like, whoa. These got some kick to them. Now, the next thing we did with them, here in Michigan, we don't have a minimum poundage requirement for bow hunting. And I've heard different stories. People said 35, 40, 30. You hear all this talk. And so I said, well, I'm going to go to the DNR and ask them. And they're like, no, there's really no requirement as far as minimum poundage. But everybody kind of plays that 35-pound game rule. And that's what we set for our 2 new archers this year going into the field, that we wanted them to be at 35 pounds and being able to comfortably shoot and comfortably hit a target consistently before we're going to let them into the field. So what we did at 35 pounds, we put each of these bows back into the appropriate draw length for each person that's going to be shooting them. And then we speed checked them then, just to see what happens when you go from the maximum draw length at 35 pounds down to what the actual shooter is going to shoot, and see how draw length affects your speed. Okay? Shooting them with the same arrows again. Now, the edge, normally at 28.5-inch draw length at 35 pounds, like we said, it was 207 feet per second. Well, Mindy shoots that bow at 24 inches of draw. It dropped it down to 168.25 feet per second. 168 and a quarter. That's a pretty. That's 40 feet per second drop in 4 inches of draw. Okay. Now with the Adrenaline that Jake's shooting, Jake's a little guy. He can pull 35 pounds, but his draw length's only 19 inches. Okay. He goes from the maximum draw length down to the very minimum. I mean, there's only a half-inch left of draw length adjustability in that bow, and he's at the rock bottom. And at 19 inches, at 35 pounds, it's 123 feet per second, versus 189 feet per second at 28 inches. So there's a huge drop-off there of 66 pounds. I mean, you're talking almost a full third of his speed is lost by dropping down to that shortest draw length, okay? So that's, it really affects it. It really shows up on that bow. Now, on the Eclipse, the single cam bow that Mackenzie's shooting, the 25 inches of maximum draw length at 35 pounds is 179 feet per second, and she shoots 21 inches of draw, and it dropped it down to 157.7. So roughly 22 pounds of speed loss, 22 feet per second. So
not bad.
Not bad. It's less than what Mindy lost at 40 pounds, and a whole lot less than what Jake lost at 66 pounds. So, it was really eye-opening to see how the speed game was affected by draw length. When you start shortening those draw lengths up, that cam can't roll back as far.
Has less power.
You're not using all the energy that the cams are built for.
Everyone thinks it's off poundage, but it's not.
Well, it is poundage.
But you don't get all your cam move.
The poundage has a lot to do with it, but it's increasing the draw length. And you get that draw length that rolls that cam back, so it can load that energy up and sling it. Yeah, exactly. So now another thing to remember was with all these bows, they do have a limb upgrade program, and these are all set between 30 and 40 pound, 30 to 40 pound limb, and they can be increased to 40 to 50, and a couple of them can do I think yours can go a 50 to 60 pound.
Yeah, they have 50 to 60 pound limb.
And yours is right now set from 40 to 50. You got the 40 to 50.
And mine's maxed out, isn't it?
We shot it maxed out, and I don't remember what was your speeds were.
It was 240 something.
40, 250-ish, somewhere up in that area. I can't remember. Like I said, I don't have the numbers in front of me, and I hate to speculate on what it was.
But you know what was weird? We spec Chuck's bow, and it was like 56 pounds, 28 draw, and it was like 250 or 260 something.
Yeah, I mean that
for an older bow.
That bow is roughly 6-7 years old. It's a Browning, and I can't remember exactly what model it is, but it's a dual cam bow also. But yeah, even the old technology, not real old, but older technology. It's not a parallel limbo like what Kevin and I are shooting, but we didn't get to put ours through the chronograph. We spent so much time shooting the kids' bows.
It'd be fun to shoot some recurve through it.
Yeah, we need to do that too one day. Get the recurves out and see how they chrony against that. So, but it was, like I said, it was a real eye-opening experience. It was real interesting to see how technology has played a game, these new kids and youth bows. So they've come a long way. They really have. These bows are definitely capable of taking a kid out into the field, put them in their hands after they learn how to shoot consistently and accurately, and being able to take big game. I mean, there's no reason why these bows can't take a deer effectively. So, what we used to think of as a youth bow in the past, that's gone. Forget that. One thing that we need to do, we haven't, is we've still got the PSE Spider and Outlaw here that you guys were shooting last year. And actually, the one you shot 2 years ago.
Was 2 years ago.
I'd like to put that on the chronograph and really see, because that is old technology compared to some of this newer stuff with the module systems.
I can't believe I was that small.
So I would like to really check them. And that's something else I'd like to talk about with these youth bows. Every one of them that we've got has a module system to where you can actually change. We change these draw lengths back and forth all day long in the matter of less than a minute. It was really relatively easy to change them. The only thing that I did get a little confused on was with the two cams, you've got to do it on the top and the bottom. You got to make sure you're matched up, number one. But there's also one of the, I can't remember which bow it was. I think it's the two Brownings have 2 set screws on each module that you have to adjust back and forth. And then on Jacob's bow, on the Adrenaline, there's actually a long and a short setting for each module. And that was a little confusing at first. But, we worked through that. And once we figured out exactly where we had to be, it was, relatively easy to switch these things back and forth with no problem. So it's not where you have to have a bow press and compact these things down and have it done in a pro shop. You can actually effectively change the draw length on all these bows on your kitchen table with an Allen wrench in less than a minute. It's that simple. It's that easy. And we did it all day long. It was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun. So, anything you want to throw in on this?
It was fun.
I've been throwing numbers back and forth. I hope I didn't confuse everybody, but
I'm not good with numbers.
Tried to keep it as simple as possible, as to what we were doing and how we did it and how we achieved these numbers. But, if you're looking for speed, flat out speed, the Edge was the fastest bow, so far. Like I said, we haven't done the Parker Buckshot yet, and we still have to do that one. But between these three bows, so far, that was the clear winner, as far as the top end at almost 226 feet per second at 40 pounds. So, what more can you say? Now, I will say this about the Adrenaline. We don't have any accessories as far as silencers or dampeners on this yet. The other two, the Eclipse, it came with a string silencer system on it.
String bats.
It had bats on it. And the Edge, I believe, had something similar to it also, as far as affecting any speeds or anything like that. But I will say the Adrenaline definitely needs something, because that is one of the noisiest bows I've ever seen in my life. It was really noisy. But it's a stripped-down model with nothing on it. The only thing we put on that bow was we put a sight on it, we put a peep sight on it, and we put a rest on it. And that's it, And it's just, it needs some work to get it to where we can effectively take it out into the field. And I'm quite sure that will not be a problem. So, but I will say that the Edge is relatively quiet. I know your bow, the Equalizer, is extremely quiet. everybody that hears you or watches you shoot that bow, that's
You
all
do
they
a
talk
double
about.
take.
Yeah, they're like, wow, didn't even hear that thing. So, but the bow you're shooting is obviously for a small framed adult or a larger youth. We're stepping up into the 40 to 50 pound range, and we've also got an edge that we're putting through its paces, and I want to get that one on the chronograph next. That's on the 40 to 50 pound limb system, so we can compare those two to each other. So, but that was our Saturday. Well, not only that, we took Jake to the range, or not to the range, but to the bow shop. We finally got the sight and the peep sight on his, and got him all set up. So he was really excited and ready to rock with that. And so now he's like one of the other guys out there. He's ready to roll, working on with the sights and everything. So next time he goes to the range, he won't be smacking the wall or the floor or whatever like he was earlier. So, but that was Saturday. It was a long day, a fun day, and we got.
It was pretty hot out too.
It was real hot, and that's the one thing with shooting with a chronograph. Make doggone sure you got plenty of sunlight, because we ran into that when we started to try to do our broadhead test, and that's part of the broadhead test we still have to finish. So. Just make sure you got plenty of sunlight for using chronograph. And the one thing I did notice, it was a little bit windy that day, and we didn't have a bag on the tripod, and it blew it over.
Like 3 or 4 times.
And, one time we're getting some erroneous readings and started looking at it real close, and it wasn't completely flattened out on the tripod because it's a fold-up model. You got to make doggone sure that when you've got your chronograph set up that you've got it set up per specs of the instructions, because it can affect things. I mean, it was throwing readings. All of a sudden, we put it back up, and the first arrow we shot through it was like 20, 30 feet per second difference. And we're like, wait a minute, what happened? Went down there and looked at it real quick and figured out that it wasn't set properly. So we made our adjustments, got it all set back up, checked it, and it was right on, and away we went. So they can be a little tricky. You just got to play with it a little bit and make sure you got it set up properly. So, but that was Saturday. Now, to today, Sunday.
Yeah.
That was our big fishing trip. We took Chuck Parr with us today for the first time up to do a little catfishing up at our nice little catfish hole
honey hole.
Yeah, our little honey hole that we got. And my brother-in-law went along with us, and he took his grandma with him. And
that was kind of cool.
That was cool. I love to see guys take out their grandparents and take them fishing or hunting or whatever. And she had a ball.
She's hilarious, too.
She is funny. And, it's just cool. I love to see that age range from seniors all the way down to kids enjoying themselves, whether it be hunting or fishing. And we had a good day today. It wasn't as good as we've had in the past, but Chuck put the whammy on us today. Yeah. We wound up bringing 5 home, and so he caught 3, or kept 3. Actually caught more than that, but had 3 keepers from him, and then we had 2 from us, and I just did them all up, and we're going to give them all to him, so he has a mess of catfish to eat.
I didn't have a bite all day.
You didn't get one bite.
No.
I hooked one. I let Jake reel in. Then I brought one in. Chuck, he caught 3 keepers. He had one he had to throw back. It was 11.5 inches. Got to be 12 or bigger here.
No, actually, it was 11.
Oh, it was 11?
The other one was 11.5, and you said the
way you were measuring it was wrong.
Yeah,
you weren't measuring it all the way to the tip of the tail. So you kind of figured that out, and it was over 12, so he kept that. So with that being said, I caught 2 dogfish today. Nasty, nasty, nasty fish. And threw them things back. Didn't even bring them in the boat. I did not want them things in the boat. Just kind of got the hook out of them, took the net and flipped them back in the water. And today I caught something for the very first time I've ever caught in my life. I caught a turtle.
And that was weird.
Not did I only catch one, I caught 2. I caught 2 turtles today, and they were pretty good size. I mean, they weren't humongous or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but, I'd say they're as big as a dinner plate, big around. One of them was a painter turtle, what we call painter's turtles here, hard shell, and the other one was a softback or leatherback. And
that one looked pretty cool.
It was
looked like a Frisbee.
Yeah, it did. It was real flat, real soft shell on it. But, I was reeling in. I thought, like, man, I got another, dead snag on the end, like a stick or something. It was just like dead weight, and I'm pulling in and pull up. I'm like, man, that's a turtle. That's pretty cool. But we didn't keep them either. We got rid of them. But we didn't do bad today. It was a good day on the river. other than the fact that we had my new boat out for the second time. And I knew when we bought it that my brother-in-law had warned me that it was sucking air off the gas line, and you'd have a problem holding prime on it. So we're, start it and get running and it'd die. Start running and it'd die. Got down to the fishing spot and trying to get it to hold prime again and couldn't. And I looked at the bulb and I could start to smell gas, and that's where the hole was. It was in the bulb. It actually broke. It had cracked. So he had to tow us all the way back in when we got done fishing. Towed us back to the boat launch. So that was kind of a bummer. But, we made it back, no problems.
Then he loaned you extra motor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did loan me his trolling motor, and I want to say thank you. I'm waiting to see the bill for the rental fee on the trolling motor and the towing bill to get us back to the boat dock or the boat launch. But, no, he helped us out big time, or we could have been really hosed. So, but got back home. On the way home, bought a new bulb for it and put that on, and I thought that was going to take care of the problem. Still couldn't get it to prime up properly. I'm like, what is going on with this thing, And I started really listening. And for guys who's got a boat and you're having a problem with a prime, this is something really to check. I don't know what made me think of it, but I'm listening to the tank, and I can hear it sucking air through the tank. And I'm like, it's almost like there's not a pickup, or the pickup's gone or something. I took the actual unit off the top of the tank and looked down in there. There was no
pickup.
The pickup had actually dropped off of the unit on top. The rod that connects, that goes down for the pickup on the screen, was laying in the bottom of the tank. So took that all apart, kind of fished that thing out, and put it back in, give it a good hard twist, and seated it real good, and pulled on it, make sure it was good and tight. Put it all back together, hit that bulb about 3 times, and it was rock hard, and it held. It held for quite a while. So I think we got that problem taken care of. But it's just something to think about if you're having a problem with it holding prime. And it's, it feels like you're getting blow by and it's just not holding in the check valve. Check your tank and listen and see if it's pushing air back down into the tank. And if you can hear it, and hear it towards that top where that goes into the tank, it's a good chance that the filler, the pickup line on it, may be down in the bottom of the tank. It may have fell off. So with that being said, we got that taken care of. We actually washed the boat today. You took care of your boat a little bit today. Cleaned it all out, getting things a little cleaned up and getting them ready.
On the pontoon.
And then, we went over to my dad's house, went on the pontoon, took the kids out on his lake, which is more of a recreation lake instead of fishing, because the weekend warriors were out in full force. That place was a madhouse. But you guys got to get out and swim.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Hang out on the pontoon for a while. So we spent the whole day on the water just about.
Yeah, I feel like I'm rocking right now.
Still, rocking back and forth from all the wave action. So I don't know, man, but I didn't get any sleep last night. It's been a long day. We got up this morning at 4:15 to get up on the river, so it's been a long, long day. But
we almost hit a deer.
And we almost hit a deer this morning pulling out of the driveway. It was crazy. Literally a quarter mile down the road, and a deer runs out in front of us.
Just right where we hit that. The other one hit us.
Yep. Yeah, the one we hit a couple years ago. So we saw some deer while we were on the river, too. We saw 7 deer total. We saw 4 going out and 3 coming back. And one of them coming back was a big buck. That was kind of cool, seeing them down by the water on the river. So, we saw a lot of game today. A lot of game out. Yesterday we saw the big bucks out back behind the house. And
me and Chuck were going after the ducks on the river.
Yeah, saw the ducks on the river, and just a real good day. Saw a lot of game out. But now, coming up for next week, I just kind of want to look forward to what's going on. We've got our Jake's event coming up here in Mid-Michigan. If you're in the Mid-Michigan area and you're looking to take your kids out for something to do for free, email me and I'll get you the directions to it. But it's at Williams Gun Sight and Outfitters in Davison, Michigan. And the National Wild Turkey Federation, our local chapter, is putting on our big Jake's event. And the kids are going to come out and they're going to shoot some shotguns, shoot BB guns. There's an archery range set up. We've got a laser rifle range set up for like a laser sight thing, game that you play.
Laser gun.
And we got a trout pond.
Fly tying, which I'll be doing.
You're going to be doing some fly tying there. You're going to be helping out with that. And I actually talked to the guy over at Double D Coyote, Custom Game Calls. He's coming out this week and going to be a part of that event this coming weekend. Hopefully we're going to get a good interview with him. He's going to go over some stuff for predator calling and predator hunting for us. And he also makes custom turkey calls. So I'm really looking forward to talking with him this coming weekend and getting some good information from him and letting you guys know what kind of things he offers as far as game calls. So we got that to look forward to. Now, next Sunday, the day after that, which would be August 3rd.
And Saturday.
And Saturday. Well, I want people to come to the Jake's event. But Sunday, if you live in the mid-Michigan area, the Bay County, Saginaw County area, the
Michigan Duck Hunters Association.
The Michigan Duck Hunters Association is putting on their Saginaw Bay region waterfowl classic event. It's for the kids. It's for the adults. They're going to have dogs there. They're going to have game calls there. All kinds of stuff as far as anything to do with ducks and geese. It's going to be there. So that's going to be up the. Actually, I think it's at the Bay Rec area.
Yeah, Bay Rec area.
The Bay Rec area. Yep. So if you're wondering how to get to that event, you can just Google that, the Michigan Duck Hunters Association, and you can find directions and all the information on that event up there. So we're going to try to do both of them. I know we're going to do the Jake's event, and we're going to try to get you guys up to that Waterfowl Classic and let you guys play around up there. So, and if you're going to go to the Jake's event, look for us there. The Up North Journal team, we will be wearing our Up North Journal hats and shirts. I know Michael's going to be there. I'm going to be there. And I believe Kevin Hutchings is going to be there. And there's a chance that Chuck Parr will be there. And I'm pretty sure Tim Ford's going to be there also.
Whole gang.
So there may be a good chance that all five of us will be hanging out there. So if you guys see us, come by, say hi, give us a wave, sit down and talk.
Come visit me.
We'll talk hunting and fishing and whatever else. So we're looking forward to that. But the last thing I want to mention on this week's show, a good friend of mine out east, Bob Rich, you've heard me mention him on the show before. I want you guys to go over and check out the video he did this week while he was out woodchuck hunting. It is a grin. It's one of the best little pieces I've seen put together in a long, long time. And if you guys want to go over and check that out, go to our website, upnorthjournal.com. You look over on the clickable links on the right-hand side, and it's the BR Shooting Journal, Bob Rich Shooting Journal. Click on that, and it'll take you to it. And actually, he's got it tagged as a Thermacell review, Thermacell product review, and that's how it starts off. So click on that Thermacell product review and just watch that video. He did an excellent job with it. I was rolling by the end of it. It's just a really nice little piece he put together. So, well, listen, man, that's all I got. I'm out of energy.
I'm tired.
I am wiped out. It's been another exciting week. I've had no sleep in the last 2 days, and I don't think I'm going to get a lot of sleep this week because I don't have any extra work lined up. I'm going fishing Monday. I'm going fishing Tuesday. I'm going fishing Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to Cabela's, and then on Friday, I'm going fishing again. And then Saturday, we've got the Jake's event, and then Sunday, we've got the Michigan Waterfowl
We'll
Classic.
do it all over again.
So this is good. I've kind of planned this weekend we're going to have some good weather here, and I've made up my mind. I'm getting up early every morning, and I'm doing something outside this week. I don't get to do that very often, and summer's here, and doggone it, I'm going to get out and I'm going to enjoy it because right now work's slow. So,
How do you plan to have no sleep, too?
and I'm not going to get any sleep, so next weekend, if I'm sleeping during the show, you know why. But
Or if it's just me.
we're going to get, it may just be Michael. Who knows? I mean, I may be in some kind of stupor trying to sleep everything off and catch up on my sleep. So it may just be Michael on the show. Who knows? Maybe you and Kevin can do it, or you and Chuck.
Yeah, me and Chuck, that would be interesting.
It'd be nothing but waterfowl, I guess. I don't know. But listen, we're going to wrap it up, man. I'm wiped out, and I got to get some sleep so I can get up and go fishing in the morning.
Sounds good.
You going with me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about next week. And better yet, hopefully we'll have some fishing stuff. We don't do that very much.
Yeah.
We got to get out and do some of that. So
Well, we are.
we're going to do it this week. All right. Listen, as always, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal.